Valiant Vincent in the chat asking or saying Harbaugh looks like an accountant who accidentally got hired as a head coach and he's too deep to back out now.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a movie. It's like
the accidental coach.
Yeah, there it is. Great title. Who's directing?
What is
that?
it? The accidental coach. Yeah. That's a great one. And by the way, I'll tell you, that kind of movie. That's not like a real movie. That's like a made-for-TV.
Yeah, very tight release.
Yeah.
It's like it appears in theaters.
Yeah.
Streaming.
That's like
I'm not gonna say where it's streaming, but it's streaming.
I mean, exactly. I don't want to insult anyone.
No. It follows American Pie 8.
Yes.
Right.
Then you
but it just feels like, one of those, like...
Or a Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee, 3, 100%.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Welcome to Fantasy Football Happy Hour. I'm Jay Croucher. He's Matthew Berry. A special guest here today, the Sheriff. Explain yourself.
Omaha!
Unbelievable.
Omaha!
Why do you have blonde hair?
Omaha. That's all I'm going to say for the whole show.
So, all right. So, you walked in, and I'm literally like, are you trying to be Ric Flair? Like, what is going on here? Because you got the shorts, and you got the blonde hair. And they're like, no, that's literally, that's me and Cam. That's our stage manager, Cam. He's miking me up. And Lawrence walks in, and I'm like, what the hell? I think that should be my new screensaver, my new avatar.
It's very jarring.
All right, so
tough open.
So let's break this down for a second, Jay, because here's what I would say.
Yeah.
I understand the challenge. So you and your lovely wife were probably sitting there like, look, I got this neck brace. I got to figure out a way to get the neck brace into the costume.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Gotta do that.
Yeah,
and of course, Matthew has been getting away with his ankles, so if I can show a little bit of skin, maybe that also for the ladies.
I got a little calf in there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You the ankler, I'm the calfler.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oscar on YouTube, LJ looks more like Chad Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
Yeah.
All related.
To me, it's like if Peyton Manning was in the Basketball Diaries mixed with Nicki Minaj. That's basically what I'm seeing here now.
If you weren't wearing if you didn't say 18, like I wouldn't have thought Peyton Manning. So I guess it's clearly
but see,
it's the year with a neck injury that Manning was out.
Yes, but if I didn't have this shirt on, I also wouldn't be wearing this here hair.
I understand, but like Scott McClory looks like a cross between Johnny Quest and Al Bundy.
Quest.
That's a good one. That's a effing good one.
Johnny Quest.
That's true. Like, this is a disaster because like that doesn't look anything like Peyton Manning's hair. I mean, like, I get there are challenges from what you. I get that there are inherent challenges from what you look like and what Peyton Manning looks like.
This is the thing. No, not like in the face. Me and Peyton Manning look exactly alike.
Yeah.
The challenge was at the Halloween store. You can't get like receding hairlines with brown hair. But I'll say this.
You went blonde.
I went blonde because
Way blue blonde.
Maybe Peyton Manning was a blonde as a young boy.
You know, you look like. You know who you look like. You won't get this reference, but you will. You look like Cisco.
Yes. Well, see,
come on now.
Cisco had the shortcut. I got like a little. My joint a little long right here.
But age appropriate Cisco.
Yes.
But like this is probably what Cisco looks like today.
Yes. He was doing this thing back in the day with the platinum blonde.
Right. What was the song? He had the one big song.
Thong song.
Thong song. That was it. Thong song. Shout out to Cisco. Cisco should drink free, but he does not.
Yeah, but just. This is 2011 Peyton Manning. We must be specific.
Cobra Kygo, if Wesley Snipes grew out his hair in Demolition Man. Shout out Jay with the movie reference. It's good. That's not bad.
That is not bad.
That's not bad.
I do want the regulars to weigh in on what Lawrence looks like because I can just tell you it's not Peyton Manning. But like so,
look, this is how he get the ball out of shotgun right here. Omaha. Omaha!
Stop saying Omaha. All right, today's Love Hate Day.
Come on, emotion.
Yeah. I do have some Jacob Tammy in me. There's no question about that. Look.
What's his other thing? God damn it, Donald. When he blows up the play. All right, it's Love Hate Day.
Was that not Donald Driver? Was it? Who was it?
Donald Driver.
No, who was
Donald Duck?
He was Packers.
Donald Driver was Packers. I'm trying to think of like who the Donald was. The damn it Donald of the that missed the block or whatever it was. That's a good one.
Recall.
We'll get research on that one. We'll find Medium Show to sort that out. All right, it's Love Hate Day. We're going to talk about Ravens Dolphins as well at the end of the show. But let's start off with Love Hate running backs. where we heard from Derrick Henry on correcting mistakes heading into the game with Miami.
Ooh.
I'm just my worst critic of myself, very critical of myself, and it's not anybody else, it's just me, battling myself and my thoughts, so it's just mad at myself, but I'll get through it, watch the film, move past it, even though it'll be hard, but just to get ready for Miami. It's going to be a quick turnaround, so got to lock in on that one. Got to flush this one.
He looks locked in. He's like, you know what? If you looked in his eyes, what that was is basically like, I'm ready to lead Matthew to his second win of the season.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, a much better running back than Donald Brown, who was the man that Peyton Manning was very upset with when he blew the block. Derrick Henry comes in at...
UConn legend, by the way, Donald Brown.
There you go. Derrick Henry comes in as running back number 9. I think that things are going to look a lot different for the King with Lamar Jackson back under center. And Lamar Jackson... who we welcome back into our lives.
Drinks for free.
Drinks
He drinks for free today. And I thought, Lawrence, that might be, because you are a big Lamar Jackson fan. You've dressed as Lamar Jackson on the show before.
That's what y'all expect.
Yes.
But one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up was the sheriff, Peyton Manning. So, and Peyton Manning would be very happy and proud that Lamar Jackson is returning tonight.
Yeah.
Look, I get that. I'm just, respectfully, one of my favorite actresses growing up was Tiffany Amber Thiessen, but I'm not going to dress as Kelly Kapowski tomorrow.
I hope you do not.
I'm not going to. I'm saving you, America.
Bourbon breath with Lamar being back. I have a feeling it'll be vintage King Henry time. What do you guys think?
Yes, thank you, Bourbon breath, getting us back on track. You're absolutely right. Derrick Henry makes the love list today. With Lamar Jackson at quarterback this year, he's been averaging 5.9 yards per carry. That's compared with just 3.7 without Lamar. And then you think about this workload, right? And so Derrick Henry probably going to get at least 15 carries. Why do I mention 15 carries? 4 of the 5 running backs that have gotten at least 15 carries against the Dolphins so far this year, they scored at least 20 fantasy points. No team has allowed more running back rushes of 20 or more yards this year than your Miami Dolphins. So Derrick Henry, top 10 play for me, makes the love list. King Henry, it's probably not enough to save my season, but it is enough to save the season of the Ravens. It is a reason why Jay Croucher tried desperately to trade an injured Bijan Judgment
wasn't injured at the time.
For Derrick Henry. But you knew, Jay.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
He'll be back.
Yes, he will be.
We'll still make the trade if you want.
And I think I had Quinshawn on the hate list last week.
Yes,
that New England defense.
It is a tough New England defense, which we'll talk about soon. But Lawrence, so we have a question from Valiant Vincent. I predict 80-plus all-purpose yards and a touchdown for Zay Flowers today. And if I'm right, Barry should have to dress up as Kelly Kapowski tomorrow. Okay,
yes.
Not really a question, rather a statement of intent and a demand.
Yeah, respectfully, Valiant Vincent, whether I should or should not, I'm not going to. Again, honestly,
Hey, hold on. What was the guy name?
Valiant
Vincent.
Valiant Vincent. Why you want to see that?
I'll make it. So Valiant Vincent, I'm not going to do it. I'm just letting you know right now. But because we are doing the regulars Halloween costume, and you can tweet your costumes at us FFHH Halloween. Valiant Vincent, what you should do, if Zay Flowers does not get 80 all-purpose yards and a touchdown, you should dress as Kelly Kapowski and send us a picture, and I promise to feature it tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, and we don't know what you look like, Valiant Vincent, but I know that Matthew Berry would not look good as Kelly Kapowski, so at least there's some variance with you. You could look good.
Yeah, respectfully, I don't look good as Matthew Berry. So, just imagine if then once you start going down the road.
Yeah. Please, Matthew, you look very, very dapper today. Nice little cardigan operation.
Well, we've got the DraftKings commercial later today.
True.
You and I do. So I gotta look sharp for Mr. King.
Yeah, fancy Thursday for Mr. King. We transition from the King, Derrick Henry, into perennially one of the most underrated running backs in football, Lawrence Josh Jacobs. All he does is score a touchdown and put up 70, 80 yards. Now he gets the Panthers, who just got eviscerated on the ground by Jay Cook.
Yeah, touchdowns have been the big thing for Josh Jacobs lately. He's only got a total of 88 rushing yards on 26 carries in his last 2 games, so that part of it isn't good. And to be honest, this Carolina run defense isn't as bad as it was to start out the season. They've held 4 of their last 5 opponents to under 40 rushing yards. That includes Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Devon Achane. But the thing is, like I just said, for Josh Jacobs, 4 straight games with touchdowns, 3 of those games were 2 touchdowns. I think the Green Bay defense is going to put it on the Carolina offense, which will give the Packers more opportunities for Josh Jacobs to do his thing, and he gets back to having some of that rushing yardage that we used to against these Panthers.
Yep, 13.5-point favorites, the Packers, so you suspect that Jacobs is going to get in the end zone.
I think last week James Cook had over 200 yards against him.
Yes.
Over under 200 yards for Josh Jacobs this week.
I'm going to go under.
All right,
but I would say over 100. I'm going to say he gets 100.
Very good chance to go over 1.5 touchdowns.
Yes, I like that as well. By the way, I literally just noticed, because I was so distracted by the blonde hair, I just noted the wristbands. Which is a nice touch.
Because come on, man, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
If you
should use the wristbands to wipe your sweat, that's
Now, see, if it was Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I mean that's a better. Chad Powers, I agree with you. It's more Chad Powers.
Yeah, but Chad Powers didn't mess up his neck and come back to be.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
By the way, if you look at it the right way, Chad Powers is basically looking at Lawrence being like, what the hell, dude? That's a WTF look on Chad Powers' face.
I think he looked kind of pleasantly proud.
Yeah.
Like, he's like,
also,
well, look at him.
While not intending at all to look like Peyton Manning, Chad Powers looks way more like Peyton Manning than you do.
I'm going to give you that there for a plethora of reasons.
Of all the things that's going on, the hair is obviously the big thing. But when has Peyton Manning ever worn shorts?
I know.
Listen. Guys, when you play footballs, OTAs, you can't just wear football pants. I got to get a little practice in.
Not since we
Why
saw
is it a bib as well?
I mean, yesterday we showed a photo.
Colts shirt?
Yeah, yesterday we showed a photo of one of the regulars that was dressing up as Jay, and basically he put a Lakers jersey on, but just put a piece of paper that said that Sparks over it, like this, basically, so like a discount WNBA jersey.
Right.
That still looked more like Lisa Leslie than you look like Peyton Manning.
Listen, I do not take offense to not looking like Peyton Manning. I love me some Peyton Manning, but I do not take offense to not looking like Peyton Manning. So there we go. I'm just.
Here's the other question I asked for the regulars. So I want the regulars to weigh in on what Lawrence looks like. But the other thing I'm asking the regulars is given the situation, Lawrence has this neck brace. He's still recovering from back surgery. It's going to take him a little while until he gets out of the neck brace. So if you were Lawrence and you're in this neck brace, what would have been a better costume that he could have done incorporating? You're challenging the regulars. I disagree. I believe in the regulars.
I would like to see this one.
Who do you think you are? Raise the flags. Where are you guys at? Let's go. Tej, come on.
All right, DeAndre Swift. You can chime in too, DeAndre Swift. You got any opinions about what's going on to my right? But DeAndre Swift, he plays the Bengals defense. Al Golden, Matthew, came across from college. He's running effectively a college-level defense right now at Cincinnati. About as good a matchup as you can get.
So every single game this year, literally every single game this year, the Cincinnati Bengals, your Cincinnati Bengals, Jay, have allowed at least 87 yards from scrimmage to an opposing running back. Every single game. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. Every single game that a running back has seen at least 12 touches against the Cincinnati Bengals this year. They've averaged 20.6 fantasy points per game.
Right.
All right? DeAndre Swift has never had less than 13 touches in a game this year. Ergo, ipso facto, therefore, as it be, DeAndre Swift a top 12 play this week. It's obvious. You see it right there on your screen. That Week 8 game against the Ravens, he did have 11 rush attempts, but he did have 2 receptions. So, again, he's had at least 13 touches in every single game this year. Running backs have seen at least 12 touches against the Bengals, averaging over 20 fantasy points per game since Week 4. He's the 7th best running back in fantasy football. DeAndre Swift, a poor man's Javonte Williams, if you will, Jay Croucher, is my running back 11 this week. Bear down.
Bear down. Swifties unite. All right, let's move ahead to TreVeyon Henderson, who gets a very favourable matchup against the Falcons. I think it's very instructive. The Patriots are like 6.5-point favourites in this game against the Falcons, a team that just closed favourite in San Francisco not that long ago. Now, TreVeyon's been trending up. He just had 10 for 75 on the ground against the Browns. Ramondre Stevenson, a little bit of an injury question mark as well, some uncertainty around him. But I think the main thing, Lawrence, is just your Atlanta Falcons, the run defense is just a catastrophe. Like, they just don't have big people on the defensive line, and they're getting gashed whoever they play.
Right. It's been happening multiple weeks in a row. You really saw it against the Bills. Even though their defense dominated the Bills in the passing game, they started running with James Cook. He was dominating. He had 50 rushing yards in the third quarter alone. Next week comes CMC. All of a sudden, he's back to CMC after averaging 3 yards a carry. Go to last week against the Dolphins. They did whatever they wanted with the Falcons defense. So with TreVeyon Henderson, a little banged up, Ramondre Stevenson, just the combination of that and him kind of coming on, I could see them running against that light front seven.
They need to see, I mean, again, last week was an encouraging situation. They need to see more of what they can get from TreVeyon Henderson. They're rumored to be in the market for a running back. Obviously, Antonio Gibson out for the year, but just they're clearly not happy with what their running back production is. And there's a scenario here where they say, well, like, we'll go out, we're working the phones, we're working the wires, if you will. But maybe the answer was right here in front of our face. Maybe TreVeyon Henderson can be the guy that they drafted him to be. And so, again, we've seen the explosiveness. He's not going to be an every down back. They probably do need to add some depth. I don't know who's out there on potentially trade. Could Breece Hall wind up to be a Patriot?
Yep.
I don't know if they'll trade him within the division, but
there's been some reporting that the Patriots very much are on the lookout for a running back, which isn't great given what they just spent on TreVeyon Henderson draft capital-wise. But
it isn't, but I buy the argument that perhaps this is a week where he's a flex play with some upside.
Indeed. All right, let's get to others receiving votes. Headlined by a hero from Week 8, Matthew, the great, the immortal Kimani Vidal, who plays the Titans.
Yeah, by the way, in those last 3 starts, this is somebody we talked about on Blind Date yesterday. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched yesterday's show, but Kimani Vidal is averaging over 19 touches a game, basically 100 yards from scrimmage in his 3 starts this season. He's the 10th best running back in fantasy. Nice matchup against the Titans, who allow the 3rd most fantasy points to running backs. How about Tyrone Tracy? No Cam Scadaboo, unfortunately. So Tyrone Tracy will get the majority of the work here. He's had 8 career games with at least 15 touches. He's averaging 15 points in this game. 11% target share for Tracy as well, which is nice. San Francisco bottom 10 in terms of most fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs the last month. And how about Bam Knight? I'm not saying Bam Knight is great. You see him at running back 23, but as a flex, you could do worse and probably have. He's playing the Cowboys, who've given the 2nd most rushing yards to running backs over the last 4 weeks. By the way, last 2 games very quietly, Bam Knight has 89 touches. I'm sorry, 29 touches. That makes no sense. I was like, 89, wait, what? All right, 29 touches. No, here's what it is. He's 29 touches over the last 2 weeks, 80% of the team's goal-to-go rushing attempts. Sorry. So I write my stats down, and then, there's a lot of numbers.
Well, they got rid of Michael Carter, too, so that tells you a lot there.
They believe in Bam Knight.
Yeah.
And by believe, I mean they know he exists.
And I think they also know that Trey Benson is trending toward, like, he's looking good and trending towards coming back. I think he comes off the IR next week.
Eligible to, we'll see if he does. But for this week, the starting running back of your Arizona Cardinals is, in fact, Bam Knight. I believe that's his given name, his Christian name, Bam Knight.
Yes.
I think it's Zonovan.
Is it Zonovan? Yes, I think that I know.
No, also, no relation to Bam Bam Funkhauser.
No.
No relation to Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Right.
or Bam Adebayo.
Right. Or Bam Bam, the kid on the Flintstones.
Right.
I actually think that he might be related. I like, Matthew, that you're now doing spoiler alerts for previous episodes of Fantasy Football Happy Hour. It's like it's Fight Club.
Yes.
By the way, Tyler Durden, not real in that movie.
Whoa! What are you doing?
It's 26 years ago. It's 26 years ago. It came out in 1999.
Right. He's saying you should have seen it by now.
Yeah, statute of limitations very much expired on Fight Club. Statute of limitations.
Did you like Fight Club?
Yeah, I loved it. You don't like Fight Club?
I went,
you know what? Worse take than alcohol doesn't affect me via beer.
That's not.
No, it's not.
It's true. Yeah,
me being impervious to alcohol is not a take; it's a fact.
Okay.
Fight Club, I think it got so hyped up for me.
Okay.
Like I liked it, but I was disappointed by the ending. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't love it the way people like there are people that love it. You're clearly one of those guys that loves it.
It's not like I'm not going to die on the Fight Club hill. I think it's a very good movie. Josh Jay said, WTFJ, I almost said that out loud. I was going to watch Fight Club after the show. Well, I was so close. You almost made it to watching Fight Club without getting spoiled for you, Josh Jay.
Josh Jay, by the way, that's a strong avatar. Good Lord.
Unbelievable. That's bad. There was the Bourbon Breath avatar, by the way, previously, is like like woods in the snow. I think it's where like Christopher Moltisanti went to take the Russian bloke in The Sopranos. There's a lot going on in the Avatar game. All right, we move on from Fight Club to.
By the way, the Russian bloke escapes. There you
go. Yes, yeah. Another spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Maybe. All right, Chuba Hubbard, not Chuba Hubbard. That's not his name. He plays the Green Bay Packers, Matthew. Very difficult matchup, and he headlines the hate list.
He does, right? So. We love the Chubler.
We love getting chubby.
We love all of our chubby daddies. But I had to say that among the running backs that have at least 20 touches since week 7, right? Of all the running backs that have at least 20 touches since week 7, none are averaging a fewer yards per carry than Chuba Hubbard, who's doing just 2.5 per tote. Head coach Dave Canales said on Monday, we ran the audio the other day, quote, "We cannot ignore the fact that Rico has been exceptional," close quote. We've talked about this Packers defense all season long. They allow the third fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs this year. And then, of course, the Panthers, who are almost 2 touchdown underdogs in this game. Hubbard is their passing down back, but Dowdle is somebody that also is effective in the pass game. Just feels like it's been kind of 50-50 more, maybe 60-40 Hubbard. It feels like it's going to switch this week. This is a week that they've got to say, like, Hubbard, we gave you your chance, but it's got to be the Rico show moving on anyway. So Chuba Hubbard outside my top 30 for the week.
You actually look more like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite than you do.
Yes, that's another good call.
I wonder what
That's actually a really good call.
I wonder what Uncle Rico thinks about the movie Fight Club.
Yeah, I pondered that myself.
I can't throw the ball farther than Uncle Rico, especially today.
Yeah. Certainly not over them mountains with that neck brace.
Definitely not over the mountains.
All right. Wow, Bijan Robinson on the hate list.
Actually, you know what? Yeah. Oh, you know who you look like? You look like a Game of Thrones character. Who am I thinking of? You look.
See, I never seen that show.
Yeah, you look like
one of the Lannisters.
One of the Lannisters. Yeah, you look.
Steven, our producer, he knows.
Yeah,
he's saying
one of the Lannisters. Honestly, you look like the Lannisters.
Not Tyrion. Not Tyrion.
No, definitely not Tyrion. But one of the like the forgotten Lannisters that sort of showed up. That like kind of one of the brothers.
Steven got to show me that on the screen with one of them.
We'll do the side by side. Steven doesn't have much to do at the moment. He can get on the layout app and figure that one out. Yeah. Bijan Robinson hate list, Lawrence, with the Patriots run defense on top.
Yeah, this by no means don't start Bijan Robinson. This doesn't mean that you should feel like he's less than a top 10 running back this week. You just should feel like you got to temper the expectations for a number of reasons, starting with the fact that the Patriots allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points per game to running backs. They've allowed 54 rushing yards per game and only 2 total rushing touchdowns this year, 2 running backs. And on the other side of it, the Falcons offense, they kind of still trying to find their identity. They haven't been great the past 2 weeks. Only 65 total rushing yards for Bijan Robinson. So just temper the expectations.
Yep, temper the expectations for Jordan Mason as well. The Vikings' offensive line has been decimated. They played Detroit defense that is very good against the run, not as good against the pass. And as 8.5-point underdogs and J.J. McCarthy under center. Don't think they're going to get a lot going on the ground. Speaking of J.J. McCarthy, as we transition to the love side for pass catchers, we heard from McCarthy on learning from Wentz and how to get the ball to Justin Jefferson.
I would say the biggest thing about Carson's game that I really admired was his ability to put balls in voids. Have that touch where he's throwing 60% balls and letting Justin go into that void and, catch it there. So just being able to tempo my arm down on certain routes and certain in breakers and stuff like that is something I picked up from him big time.
Okay, one of the great mysteries the NFL season is where has J.J. McCarthy been and what will he look like going forward? And his value is very much tied to Justin Jefferson, who comes in as wide receiver 7 for Matthew this week. Where does the optimism come, Matthew?
He's Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Hashtag analysis. There you go. You're welcome, America. There you go. He's Justin Jefferson. Would he be on our wall if he wasn't Justin Jefferson? Exactly. That's all I'm saying. All right, look. Here's the argument for Justin Jefferson. How bad could J.J. McCarthy be?
Well, we're about to find out.
Could he be Nick Mullins? Bad? There you go. Look, there he is. He's right next to my ride or die, Amari in Hampton. He's in his last 5 matchups against the Detroit Lions.
Not the Pistons.
Not the Pistons.
Definitely not the Pistons.
No, but he would crush against the Pistons, too.
Not the bad boy Pistons.
I'm not sure that JJ's a better quarterback than Katie Cunningham.
Yeah,
at this point, but we'll see.
Fair. Cade Cunningham crushing for my team, by the way, right there, in our league of NBA assholes. Anyway, last 5 matchups against the Detroit Lions. Justin Jefferson, 25 fantasy points. They're allowing touchdowns. This is the Lions this year. Touchdowns at the 4th highest rate to opposing wide receivers. Again, the way you attack Detroit is that secondary, it's a little bit beat up as well. And so on the season, against a small sample size, but Justin Jefferson has a 31% target share. Now, of course, that was early in the season. Jordan Addison was suspended, so it's all skewed a little bit, and it's a small sample size, but whatever. He's Justin Jefferson. It's not like you're not starting him, but I like the matchup. Again, they're underdogs here. They're going to be throwing. If you're J.J. McCarthy and you're an inexperienced quarterback, what are you doing? You're looking for Justin. You're not like, hey, let me try to force it into Jalen Naylor.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Right, of course. It's the same thing. It's Joe Flacco shows up like, I'm just going to throw out routes to Jamar Chase.
The job.
Yeah. J.J. McCarthy, he went to Michigan. He's smart. He understands the assignment.
Yeah, we just always got to mention Joe Flacco. He just constantly comes up. Speaking of Joe Flacco.
You know who he reminds me of? He could, how about the Khaleesi from Game of Thrones?
The Khaleesi.
The Khaleesi.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's more of a Jamie Lannister type situation.
Jamie Lannister, I could see that as well. But
how have y'all not said? You said
Ric Flair.
No, you brought up the Saved by the Bell girl.
Kelly Kapowski.
But didn't bring up Zach Morris, the GOAT.
That's a good one. You could be a little Zach Morris.
There he is, Jamie
Lannister.
Yeah.
To me, Lannister, not bad.
Yeah, I think it looks like if Jamie Lannister and Uncle Rico had a child and then he sprinkled some Nicki Minaj dust on them, that's basically exactly right. What is my right.
No.
Where did the mustache come from, though?
Yeah,
no. It was, the babies come out with mustaches sometimes. Yeah. Particularly when Uncle Rico was the father.
Oh,
yeah. All right.
Uncle Rico.
Romeo Odunze is going to be the daddy of the Cincinnati Bengals defense this week. Not much to say on this one, Matthew. The Bengals pass defense, as their run defense is not very good.
No, it is not.
This is a prime opportunity for Caleb Williams to get right. And Romeo Odunze, who had a really nice week last week, bounced back. I think that he will torch the Bengals.
I agree with you.
Okay, let's jump ahead to DK Metcalf, who plays my Indianapolis Colts, who are, as we know, an all-world juggernaut, but the pass defense can be a little bit shaky.
Yeah, they allow the 3rd most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers. They allow the 4th most yards per game as well. And so DK Metcalf, who had a little bit of a quiet game last week, but I feel like they're going to have to throw. The Colts' offense is so good that Detroit, the only way that Pittsburgh keeps up is they're going to have to throw against this Colts secondary. Their run defense is pretty good, but since week 2, Colts allow the 5th most touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. So if you're telling me there's a wide receiver on the Steelers that gets a touchdown, we feel pretty good that it's going to be DK Metcalf as well. Colts 7th best against the run over the last 4 weeks. So again, I think the way you attack Indy is that secondary.
Indeed. Okay, Lawrence, we're anticipating the return, finally, of Brock Bowers, who's been largely an unused chubby leather daddy for me. I've been relying on the Tuck wagon. We'll see. Well, maybe, because I've got Tucker Kraft on my team. I think it's probably going to be better than Brock Bowers going forward, just because the injury concerns around Brock. But he plays the Jags.
And the quarterback concerns.
And a lot of quarterback
and the
concerns.
coaching concerns.
Hopefully this helps.
Okay, but in spite of all this, he's on the love list, Lawrence. So
definitely. By the way, Brock Bowers would kill for this hair right now. He's a very young man. He hurting. But he going to hurt the Jacksonville Jaguars defense because they've allowed a touchdown to tight ends in 3 of their last 4 games. The Jacksonville Jaguars' last 4 games, they've allowed an average of 71 receiving yards to tight ends. And these not like name brand tight ends. We're talking Kobe Parkinson, A.J. Barner, Jake Tonga. So besides the fact that he is Brock Bowers, the Jags give it up to tight ends. So I look for him to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit with his hair, Brock Bowers.
A little bit.
Yeah, this is only for our 12.
Like 22, 23.
All right, I figured it out.
You got to get this right here.
I just figured it out.
All right.
So Ted Lasso, right? You guys saw Ted Lasso?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So Rebecca, the female owner, long blonde hair. She, spoiler alert coming up for Ted Lasso, but Rebecca throughout, I think it's season 2, has an affair with Sam Obasanya, who's on the team, right? He was a defender on the team.
I don't know that part.
If they had a baby, There you go.
Okay.
They had a baby. That's you.
There was already 2 people who had a baby and it came out me. What's up with all the baby making here? In fact, I want no more baby making personally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll tell you what the baby because
there's a lot of love being made between Jamie Lannister and Uncle Rico.
I'm just saying. That's the only way this comes together is through some some perverted
I don't know,
love
Matthew.
making.
It's 2025. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Okay, from one tight end to Brock
Bowers. I just know it's
not
Peyton Manning. I don't know. I'm still figuring out what it is.
Very Peyton Manning.
It's
I look just like him.
I don't know what you are, but
Absolutely
you're
not.
not the sheriff. We go from one tight end struggling with his hair and Brock Bowers to one very much not, Tyler Warren. Those beautiful long locks, Matthew.
Connor Rogers could learn a few things from you about transitions.
He's on the love list against the Steelers.
Tyler Warren is absolutely on the love list against the Steelers. Two first names, always a crowd pleaser. Look, we just saw what your guy, Tucker Kraft, did to the Steelers last week. In fact, 4 different tight ends this year, including Tucker Kraft, have had their season high in receiving yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tucker Kraft was on the love list last week as a tight end against these Steelers. I'm going back to the well again. The tight end facing the Steelers this week is Tyler Warren. No team in the NFL allows more yards per game to opposing tight ends than the Pittsburgh Steelers. They also give it the second most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. You see it there on your screen. Tyler Warren, number 3 in my ranks, number 1 in your heart. Tyler Warren, big day coming and on the love list for week number 9.
Okay, let's jump to others receiving votes, headlined by Marvin Harrison Jr.,
I've heard of
who has had ups and downs this year, but has shown flashes, and I think eye test-wise has looked better than he did his rookie season, and now he gets as good a matchup as possible outside of Cincinnati, and that is the Dallas Cowboys.
No team has allowed more touchdowns to wide receivers than the Dallas Cowboys. They've also given up at least 17 fantasy points to a wide receiver in every game this year except for one. If you tell me a wide receiver gets 17 points against the Cowboys, it's going to be MHJ. How about Travis Hunter, who had season highs in target share and route participation in his last game? Raiders allow the highest catch rate on slot targets this year. Travis Hunter runs about 40% of his routes out of the slot. How about Wan'Dale Robinson? Cheat code, 25% target share since Jackson Dart became the starter. Niners allow the 3rd most yards per game to the slot. And finally, Kyle Pitts, my guy Lawrence's Atlanta Falcons. Very quietly, he's been a top 12 tight end in fantasy points per game 3 of the last 4 weeks. Patriots quietly give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends as well. So good matchup. I think they're going to have to throw. We expect Michael Penix back this week for Atlanta as well. So Kyle Pitts makes the love list. He's a top 10 tight end for me this week.
Drake London's still like iffy.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
We're waiting for that.
Let's jump to the hate list. Jakobi Meyers might be his last game as a Raider, Matthew, but he plays the Jags, whose defense has been up and down, but the return of Brock Bowers should hurt Meyers' target share.
A little bit, but to your point about the defense, though, so far this year, the Jaguars, to your point, have been up and down, but one thing they're really good at is defending the slot where Meyers obviously runs a lot of his routes out of. They allow the fewest yards per game and the lowest catch rate to the slot so far this year. 4 straight games with single-digit fantasy points for Jakobi Meyers. Since week 3, he's wide receiver 51 on a points-per-game basis. He's been held below an 18% target share 3 of the last 4 games. This offense just looks broken. Geno doesn't look good. Jakobi Meyers, his heart isn't in it. He doesn't want to be there. It doesn't seem like they like him. It's all bad. Nothing good is happening. It's awful. It's a disaster. And so I just don't see Jakobi Meyers going out with a bang here in a big game. Maybe they do try to feature him to try to get something for him on the trade market, but they've already said I think their asking price is too hard.
Yeah, I always get nervous when you say bang, Matthew. But old Chuck, I'm not going to say the second part. Full PPR.
Maycock is what it says.
All right, you want to go
Maikok. Isn't that how you pronounce it?
Maycock?
Maycock.
Sure. All right, Maycock on the Peacock.
Lawrence,
Full
does that sound right?
PPR. Kendrick Bourne or Jakobi Myers? Lawrence.
Kendrick Bourne or Jakobi Meyers?
I'm going to say Kendrick Bourne because he's not Jakobi Meyers. I mean, I have Jakobi Meyers at wide receiver 36.
All right.
So I'm going to go Bourne.
You got Bourne higher?
Yep.
Then, yeah.
I got Bourne higher.
I hope that answers your question, Maycock. Alvino, what's the best fantasy trade destination for Jakobi Meyers? Patriots?
I was just going to say a reunion with Josh McDaniels, reunion with the Patriots.
Yeah. Opposite Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Patriots are dangerous, by the way. Patriots might be making some noise in January.
Are you jumping on that bandwagon?
No, I've already aligned. My AFC
bet is the Colts.
I have some
And
Patriots.
I was going to say, you also have some, I know you have some Seahawks.
Seahawks, yeah. I think the two best futures bet, the long shots to actually win the Super Bowl or make the Super Bowl, will be the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Those are the two best long shot bets, just based on the odds.
Both in like the 30-1 range to win the Super Bowl. Seahawks are very good. Drake May might be the fourth best quarterback in football right now. We just don't know it yet, but he's bowling out at the moment in New England. A guy who's also bowling out, hasn't gotten as much coverage, is Jordan Love. But hate list for me is
weird. You kind of gave me a side eye there, and I was thinking, is Jay going to say I'm balling out? But
no. You're playing. You're playing. You're playing, not balling out. Romeo Doubs, who has largely balled out in terms of accumulating touchdowns, but his problem, it's not super sophisticated analysis. There's just a lot of human beings on Green Bay now, with Christian Watson back, Dontavian Wicks, Tucker Kraft gets so much, Matthew Golden spent a first-round pick on, Jaden Reed's going to come back. And the issue is against the Panthers is that the Packers are 2-touchdown favorites. So are they really going to throw to Romeo Doubs? I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I'm guessing he's receiving props in like the mid-40s. So you're really counting on touchdowns from Romeo Doubs.
He'll go 2 for 22 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is the Doubs line. He's a tight end that plays wide receiver in terms of how he accumulates stats.
Jordan Love loves him in that red zone area.
Yeah.
It's just also, the addition of Christian Watson as well, who's,
Yeah. By the way, Jordan Love doesn't get any love, no pun intended. Like, no one talks about Jordan Love in the MVP conversation or anything. Jordan Love's been fantastic this year. He was incredible on Sunday night against the Steelers. Question from Ved. Romeo Doubs or Hunter or Shakir this week?
It's Travis Hunter.
We're going Travis Hunter. I'm buying all the Hunter stock in the world.
1,000%.
Got to.
I'm all
After
in.
that last game,
all in.
How do you not get on the ball?
Being used more on the outside, it seems like he's figuring some stuff out. I think there is a real chance that Travis Hunter is a top 10 wide receiver going forward. I don't think that's the most likeliest outcome, but I do think that is in play. Courtland Sutton.
What about Dennis the Menace? Kind of got a grown-up Dennis the Menace.
Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
You got some Rodman in there too, but you would need to have, you would have needed to have.
He got a lot of other stuff going on.
It's like if Dennis Rodman made love to Uncle Rico.
Right, and then they got in a motorcycle accident.
Unbelievable seat parlay there for all that to happen.
While I'm sipping my yak.
Okay, let's talk about Courtland Sutton, who faces Derrick Stingley. Tough matchup against the Texans, Lawrence.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup, and it's, Derrick Stingley is obviously great. He's the one we think about first in that Houston defensive backfield, but don't sleep on Kamari Lassiter either. Another good young corner, but Houston allows the 4th fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. Another thing too, Courtland Sutton, his targets, they fluctuate every week. They went 10, 3, 10, 6. And now you got Bo Nix, who he ends up finding a way when it comes to fantasy. He always finds a way at the end of the game. But I don't know if them numbers is as good as the real football. Yep. And now you're going to get a real test with this front 7 from the Houston Texans. Then you look at the fact that this over-under, 39.5, easily the lowest in Week 9. So all of those factors would put Courtland Sutton on the hate list this week for me.
Yep. All makes sense to me, Lawrence. The NASCAR Championship is at hand, Matthew. 4 final contenders line up in the Arizona desert, and only one will be crowned champion. The NASCAR Championship from Phoenix this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. We're going to hit our first break. When we come back, Love Hate continues with the quarterbacks.
Fixing my hair.
What do you make of Aaron Rodgers' career and just like what he's meant to the position? Have you modeled your game after him or anything like that?
Yeah, I've certainly looked up to him for a long time, and it's a lot of fun watching him play. Just what he's able to do, physically, and then mentally as well. I think, he's one of the greats for sure. When you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they're aggressive, fast-flowing, downhill defense and how they want to play, kind of the mindset and the culture that they have there. So, a lot of respect for them and their group.
Love 8 quarterbacks, says Daniel Jones. Oh, how I love my Colts. They make my Sundays so sweet. They have a bye week in 2 weeks. I'm already dreading that Sunday without the shoe, without Colts football. But Daniel Jones, very favorable matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matthews, we could see, as the graphic shows, the Steelers allowing second most fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, they are. And in fact, quarterbacks that face the Steelers this year are averaging 293 passing yards per game. That is a lot of passing yards. 5 of the last 6 quarterbacks that face the Steelers have thrown at least 2 touchdown passes, including your guy, Jordan Love. And so Daniel Jones comes in at QB for me. It's interesting, that interview, though, because he was very much like, what do you admire about Aaron Rodgers? It's like, I've watched him. What's he mean to you in the position?
They're forcing it.
Yeah, they're totally forcing it.
I'm sure he appreciates his skill, but he's not ready. Like, what do you mean? What do I admire about him? Like, I'm about to play this dude.
Right, exactly. It'd be like me, like, Lawrence, what do you love most about Jay?
Yeah. I'd be like, well, he hosts the show.
I have to work with him for an hour every day. Yeah.
And I don't get mad.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
it just
incredible
really felt.
Price.
It really did feel like
for
forced,
Croucher and Rodgers.
Yeah. It really did feel like forced. Like hostage situation there, where he just felt like cornered. What's he gonna say?
Ass? Like, what's he gonna say? He's a great guy. I love him. Would want him to date my daughters.
Exactly. He was talking himself into it.
Yeah. Very peculiar.
Obviously, listen, Rodgers is a great quarterback. What do you want?
Yeah. All right. Well,
but he does not make the love this week. But Daniel Jones does. He's my QB4.
Yep. Don't have to talk myself into Justin Herbert against the Tennessee defense. Matthew, Justin Herbert, I think he may have turned the corner in terms of not being under siege every single play with Joe Alt coming back, O-line getting healthier, or he's got all of his weapons. Oronde Gadsden apparently is Antonio Gates 2.0, and he gets this Titans defense that just has nothing at the moment and had no answer whatsoever for the Colts. Now, a bit easier of a matchup, but Herbert is healthy, playing at an extremely high level. So even though they are 10-point favorites hovering around there, I think that Herbert can compile enough. He's running the ball too.
Running the ball. This is what I have always wanted to see Justin Herbert do. Damn it, he's doing it, and it's very effective.
Yep. Okay, let's jump across to Dak Prescott. Matthew gets the Arizona Cardinals, whose defense has been up and down. There is some potential there, but this is expected to be a shootout. And Dak Prescott, you expect him to bounce back from that tough game in Denver.
I do as well. So you mentioned the shootout, right? Cowboys have an implied team total of 28.5 points.
That is a lot.
5th highest on the slate. Again, we expect this game to be, shootout. 54.5 is the current line for the Monday Night Football game. Game is in Dallas as well. Over the last 4 weeks, it's worth noting, Arizona is 28th in pressure rate. So you're telling me Dak Prescott's going to have a clean pocket to find CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, who, again, we've talked about this tough game last week, but for the year, Dak has been surgical. He's been absolutely great. And in games in which the Cowboys score at least 25 points this year, just as a team, in games in which the Cowboys have scored at least 25 points, again, Cowboys have an implied team total of 28.5. But so when the Cowboys score at least 25 points, Dak is averaging over 25 fantasy points a game himself. So he's my QB8. I think he has a big bounce-back week on Monday Night Football.
Yep, staying in that game, Lawrence, the much-maligned Kyler Murray, who makes his, hopefully for him, triumphant return.
Yeah, look, quarterback 22 in fantasy points per game this season. Not what we thought we would see from Kyler Murray. He has no top 10 finishes this year, but if there's ever a time for that to happen, it's now. Look, Dallas has played 8 games, and in 6 of those games, the opposing quarterback has finished as quarterback 8 or better. Dallas has allowed the most rushing yards to quarterbacks. We know Kyler Murray likes to run, so when you look at the over-under for this game, you just said we expect it to be a shootout. Talked about Marvin Harrison earlier. All those things combined, both quarterbacks should have good statistical games this week.
No team's worse against the run over the last 4 weeks than the Dallas Cowboys. So there should be some lanes there for Kyler Murray. You know what you could have done is you could have built like a podium around you, you know, that just said People's Court or something like that, and you're like a plaintiff. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're testifying. You've got like you got like a box around you, right? Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Wow.
There was just an idea there for me.
It could be a spin-off for us.
Yeah.
Very Judge Judy vibes. All right, Matthew Stafford headlines others receiving votes. Matthew, he has 17 passing touchdowns and just 2 interceptions on the season, hanging around the fringes of the MVP conversation.
For sure. He's my QB 13 this week because he's thrown a bunch of touchdown passes. Well, you know what? The Saints, they're giving up a lot. They've allowed touchdown passes at the 6th highest rate this season. How about Sam Darnold against my Commanders? Since week 2, we're giving up 9.1 yards per pass attempt. We're giving up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. So Sam Darnold on the road, my banged up my banged up Commanders. He's my QB 14 for the week.
Okay, let's jump across to the hate list, which is headlined by Bo Nix, coming off a very good game against the Cowboys, but it's going to be a different world for him this week on the road against an elite Texans defense.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence talked about this a little bit when we were talking to Courtland Sutton as well, but like the Texans are a top 5 pass defense in yards per game and yards per pass attempt. They allow touchdown passes at the lowest rate in the National Football League, in the sport.
Yes,
the lowest
sport
in
of football.
the sport. And by the way, this 39.5 over-under is the lowest game total in week number 9. So Bo Nix, hopefully he gets you something with his legs, but I'm at QB 21. He's just like a low-end QB 2 for a super flex kind of game. I'm really impressed with what the Texans did, especially at home. They're back home again to the Broncos this week.
Yep, other side of the ball there, Lawrence.
And Bo Nix has been inconsistent this year.
He has been very consistent.
Real life-wise.
It's not been a good year for Bo Nix. Though the Broncos just keep winning. They just keep winning games. And maybe he can trend up as he did in the second half of last season. Another guy looking to get back on track, Lawrence, CJ Stroud, who was very good against the Niners, best he's looked in a while, but also gets a brutal matchup.
I think it was a good football performance from CJ Stroud, but those are a lot. I would say that's the 49ers B team on that defensive side of the ball, but now you're going against Nick Benito and company there, Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw. That is a very scary front 7 the Denver Broncos possess. Yes, Patrick Surtain is out, but again, when you got a front 7 like that, that makes defensive backs better. So I think, especially with that, Houston Texans O-line still shaky up front. CJ Stroud's been inconsistent this year as well. I think versus I think it's going to be.
Is there a chance he gets off the wall? Yeah. I mean, again, we voted Mark Andrews off the wall last week.
If he plays well in this game, then he's buying himself a lot of leeway on the wall. I would say that, but
I still want to believe in Stroud.
I still do believe in him.
Yeah, I think he's been rattled by the O-line.
I agree.
But I think it can come back.
O-line going against this Denver D-line, scary.
Bo Nix, I don't think he might not be quite at the elite level. But
we talked about this with Connor. Like he felt like Bo Nix was Bo Nix, I don't want to say Bo Nix is a system quarterback, but Bo Nix wouldn't work in a lot of other offenses. Yeah. I do think he works in Sean Payton's offense. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a better quarterback in Stroud than what we've seen so far this year, or certainly last year. So
we haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. They need to get the offensive line. He needs his pass catchers to be healthy. Steven, did you have the picture that I sent you? Is that ready? All right. I just want to. You don't have it yet? We'll do it next week. All right, next segment.
All right, I'll close this out here with Jared Goff on the hate. Oh,
there it is. Come on,
that's what I just showed you.
That's the best one, yeah.
Yeah, that's Eddie Murphy during a sketch on Saturday Night Live.
What is he being right here?
I think he's a hairdresser. I literally just.
The hair looks goddamn good.
I Googled Eddie Murphy with blonde hair, and this came up.
It looked like his own. It might be. I don't know.
No, it's a Saturday Night Live sketch.
But then again, my hair looked natural too. So
yeah, exactly.
I tell you what, the regulars are going to break ChatGPT with all the prompts they're about to censor about Lawrence Jackson. All right, I'll close out. Jared Goff, hate list against the Vikings. You think back to the last time he played the Vikings that Week 18 game last year with Sam Darnold really struggled. Jared Goff wasn't good in that game either. Brian Flores is a very confusing defense, and the Vikings a bit of a run funnel defense. Loves to run the ball. Detroit line. So I think it's going to be run heavy. It's officially spooky season.
Yes.
At the happy hour, evidenced by Lawrence's aesthetic. And we want to see your costumes. Post your fits using the hashtag FFHHHalloween, and we'll post them on Friday. Let's take a look at some of our favorite suggestions so far. I'm going to wear my old Cardinals Todd Zeal jersey.
Ryan Oswald, yes, absolutely you should.
That's good.
Yes.
KJemmer89, someone should dress up as backup producer Pete and record themselves as him doing anything other than his job.
Also a good one.
Yep.
True.
That checks out.
Not a tough one. Not a tough one.
Valiant Vincent, I guess I could dress up as Emmy losing nominee Connor Rogers.
Yep, that would work
You
too.
know what?
If you dress up as backup producer Pete, just make you wearing a Mets hat.
For anyone
I'm
who
kind of
dresses
dressed
as
like
Alfred
Connor
Morris.
right now.
Yeah. Mr. T, I agree.
Mr. T.
I agree. Someone should dress as Alfred Morris.
Dressing up as Steelers security guard. Bobby Showtime.
Yeah. Good.
Acrisure Stadium merch.
If you're dressing up at Bobby Showtime, if you dress up with the Steelers security guard, just make sure you're on your knees and then throw a big pillow under your shirt.
Savage. All right,
Short
we're in our
and
last
fat.
break. Thursday Night Football preview after the break. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, the crown is yours.
That crown
Is
yours.
That crown be yours.
Okay. All right. It's last calls. We take a look at the most bet props at DraftKings for Ravens Dolphins. People loving themselves some Lamar Jackson as he makes his triumphant return to the field.
Minus 190, minus 275.
No.
People love their
Minus
parlay
550.
lists.
Derrick Henry alt rushing yards, minus 550. That's
Probably will hit it, but yeah, that is not a particularly appetizing price.
Yes.
I will go for the more appetizing price of minus 110 on over 66.5 receiving yards for Jalen Waddle. He has gone 95 plus in 3 of the 4 games since Tyreek Hill went down. I think it would be a good matchup against this Baltimore secondary, which in the past has been burned by speed. Thinking about how Jamar Chase constantly destroys this secondary. Also, a long time ago, I get it, but the last time that Jalen Waddle played the Ravens, like 3 years ago, remember that crazy Week 1 game where the Dolphins beat the Ravens 42-38, and Jalen Waddle went 11 for 171.
Yeah,
so
that was a crazy game.
ridiculous game. Back when Tua was thought of in a bit of a different light, but that's okay. All right, what do you got, Lawrence?
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, and this is a very appetizing price, plus 107 for him to get 40 rushing yards in his return.
40 measly rushing yards.
Easily rushing yards. Look, if Justin Herbert could run if Justin Herbert could run for 59 last Thursday, Lamar would get a little 40. First off, he's Lamar. Second, he averages 8 yards per carry. The Dolphins have allowed the 7th most rushing yards to quarterback, but I wouldn't even care about that. I'm just telling you, this is Lamar Jackson. He said his hammy feels great. Peyton Manning would make this bet. Give me Lamar Jackson for 40 yards.
Can't take anything you say seriously.
Yeah, but that's not. In fairness, that's not because of the wig. I'm just taking the under. 51.5 strikes me as a big number here. I get it. But I thought Miami showed some fight last week against the Falcons, and I do think. Yes, Lamar's back and he's great, but he's missed some time. I could see some rust in them slowing down, and I also just think we're sitting here saying Derrick Henry's rushing prop is 96. So you're telling me Lamar Jackson's going to run for 40 and Derrick Henry's going to run for 96. I just think it's going to be a slower pace of play. This game's in Miami, which always feels like weird stuff. I just, primetime unders. Give me the under 51.5 in this game.
Yep, let's take a look at your top players, Matthew. Most of these pretty automatic decisions. You're obviously starting Lamar, Achane, Henry, Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I think I would go to rankings, but I think you want to. The other pass catchers of the Ravens outside of Zay Flowers, I kind of want to wait and see. I'm not, maybe Mark Andrews plays his way back onto the wall after being voted off. That music means you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Happy Halloween from Lawrence Jackson.
Omaha!
Omaha! Jay and I will be in costume tomorrow. We'll see you. Peace out. Send in your costumes.